It's not obvious by now, I am a huge Castlevania fan. Like with the Zelda series, it's one of my go-to games. While I'm not super familiar with a lot of the modern 3D games, they seem to be a lot different than the classic 2D vintage or Metroidvania styles. I feel that those 2D games can do no wrong in my opinion, but that just might be me being a fanboy. Bloodlines is a very unique entry into the series. It is one of only 2 Castlevania games that were ever released on any Sega system, the other being a version of Symphony of Night on the Saturn, this one of course being the only one that was ever exclusive. In other parts of the world, this game was called Castlevania The New Generation. It features not one but 2 main characters to choose from, Belmont family descendant John Morris and his friend Eric Lecard. In a strange attempt to tie the original Bram Stoker novel into the canon of Castlevania, John Morris is the son of Quincy Morris from Dracula. In the game, our heroes are on a mission to prevent vampire countess Elizabeth Bartley from resurrecting Dracula. Bartley is inspired by Erzsébet Bathory, a Hungarian countess who, legend has it, tortured and killed a multitude of young girls and bathed in their blood. According to some sources, she is also a distant relative of Vlad the Impaler himself. The pair travel across World War I torn Europe on their quest. Lecard and Morris play through the levels similarly, but each have their own unique weapons. Morris wields the Castlevania staple, the Vampire Killer Whip, and Lecard has his own weapon, a powerful spear that legend has it was forged by Dracula's son Alucard. Morris can swing on his whip similar to Simon in Castlevania 4, but personally I find Eric Lecard to be the more interesting choice, as his spear has a greater reach and can attack in multiple directions. He can also use a spear to do a super jump that charges up just like the super jumps in Super Mario Bros. 2. The game isn't as graphically impressive as other 16-bit Castlevania games which have appeared on other consoles, but there are some excellent visual effects and music. As this is a Castlevania game, there is a fair bit of challenge as well. I've not gotten very far in this game, but that is my experience with more than a few of the classic Castlevania titles. For the sake of this review, I looked up some passwords on the internet. Even though this game has a few elements which are a departure from the standard Castlevania fare, including the fact it's not on a Nintendo system, and that the main characters find themselves traveling across Europe and having more scenery than just Transylvania and Dracula's castle, it fits in with the other Castlevania games quite nicely. Tying things together, Castlevania Portrait of Ruin on the Nintendo DS follows this one in the timeline and borrows quite a bit from the story from this game and Symphony of the Night as well. It's nice to see that even when the series changes direction radically, it still manages to reference itself, which is something I like very much about this series as a whole. In closing, this is a game that I definitely recommend. I'd love to see it become available on some download service such as the eShop. As of right now, you can only find it in its original cartridge form, and that cartridge is climbing in value. As of last I checked, a loose cartridge runs between $35 and $50 here in the US. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.